Hey everybody, welcome to Business Made Simple. It's a daily video that's designed to either make you money, save you money, or somehow advance your career. Today I want to have a difficult conversation. I want to talk about what to do when you get fired. Now, don't think this is some sort of premonition. If you got this video, you're not about to get fired. But, occasionally it happens. It'll probably happen to you 2 or 3 times in your career. And what do you do? The first thing you got to know is if you get fired, it is just ripe for you making serious mistakes. If you lash out, if you deny that you had any involvement in whatever mistake that you're being fired for, or whatever reason you're being fired for, if you badmouth your boss behind your back, they're back the next day, it's going to just really wind down. The goal of what you want to do when you get fired is you want to really leave them wondering whether or not they just made a bad decision. That is, you want to leave them going, maybe I should not have let that person go. The reality about being fired is it's almost never anything personal. It's really just about, were you a good fit? It's just like relationships back when you were dating. Sometimes you have just enormous respect for somebody, or even attracted to them. You like them. The chemistry is just not there. And a lot of times it's like that in the workplace too. When you're trying to get things done, you may not have been the right part of the team. If you take that too personally, what you're going to do is you're going to lash out at them. And if you lash out at them, here's the problem. They have to sort of defend themselves, which means they have to even make a bigger, stronger case of why you deserve to get fired in the first place. So there's 3 things that I think you should do when you get fired. The very first thing you should do is you should express gratitude for the opportunity that you had working at that company. You should just say, hey, and you really want to frame it. I mean, they are firing you, and they're in a very uncomfortable position. Nobody wants to fire you. It's very uncomfortable. You hate doing it. If I've had to do it a few times, you hate firing somebody. Make them comfortable. I know that sounds like, really, can you be a big enough person to do that? You can. And you just want to say, hey, listen, I understand why you're making this decision. I want to express gratitude. I know this wasn't an easy decision to make. I've learned a lot. I've enjoyed my time, and I've learned a lot from you personally. I want to thank you for that. And that's really it. You just want to get out of the room at that point. The second thing that you want to do, though, is really personal. You're going to go home, you're going to cry yourself to sleep. You're going to eat a whole gallon of ice cream. I give you permission to do that. Not the whole gallon. Save that for 3 days in a row. But there's something that you want to do. You want to learn something. You can turn a tragedy into a redeemable incident if you just learn something. And so if you sit down and say, what can I learn from this opportunity? I can learn that I hate. I got fired once at a store because I was having to unload trucks and do inventory of every single thing that came off of this truck. This is something that robots do now. I was having to do it. I'm a visionary leader. I think in huge strategies. For me to sit down and say how many batteries came off this truck as a high school student, I was not in the right job. And they didn't fire me, but they put me in a different position. They basically said, Don, you're so slow. You're so slow at this. And, I took it like being fired. And but I could actually sit down and say, man, I learned that I'm just not a huge, detailed, meticulous person when it comes to checking inventory. I really want to think about big pictures, motivating groups of people, how to make more money, the big things that I'm doing now. And so that's a great learning opportunity. The third thing I want you to do, and this may be the most important, I want you to come up with a soundbite. And if anybody asks you about how's your job, you say, actually, I was let go. And then I want you to repeat your soundbite. And your soundbite should be something like, I really love that company, and I love the people that I work with. I just wasn't a fit. They weren't a fit for me. I wasn't a fit for them, but I learned a lot, and there's no question it advanced my career. Now, here's what you're going to want to say. Those jerkholes have no idea how great I am, and they were a terrible place to work, and that is going to get back to them in about 3 minutes. I don't care who you're telling. It will get back. It always gets back. I mean, any person I've let go of who's done that, it's back to me within 24 hours. And they think they're being private, or they think they're trying to get, they're going after other employees and trying to create some sort of survivor mentality, like some reality television show. It just gets back to me. And then sometimes somebody will come to my office and say, I need you to explain this. This looks really unfair. This person was fired. And I have to sit down and say, listen, I don't want to badmouth this person, but let me just give you 3 things that they did. They did this, they did this, they did this. And every time the employee looks at me and goes, oh my gosh, are you serious? Yeah, that's what happened. You understand? They say, yes, I understand, I'm so sorry, and they leave. Does that make me look bad, or does that make you look bad? That makes you look bad. So if you just have a line that you're going to repeat this line and say, this is what happened, and keep it positive about them and keep it positive about you, you'll frame what happened to you as less of a mitigating, thing, a terrible thing, and you're going to come out looking really professional and really good. It's a great opportunity for you. Getting fired is a chance to just go into a downward spiral that really wrecks your career for sometimes years, and don't do it. Just talked to a CEO the other day, and a CEO of a huge, almost $1 billion company. And we were talking about this, and he said, Don, there was one guy that I really wanted to badmouth years ago. I just wanted to badmouth him. And I told my wife, you got to keep me committed. I'm not going to do it. And he didn't do it. And about 7 years later, he was up for some huge $1 billion CEO job. I mean, the company was $1 billion. He's going to make millions. And that firm who was going to hire him ended up calling that guy. Somehow they knew that he'd worked with that guy. And they called him and they said, tell us what you think of this CEO or think about hiring him. And he said, I think he's a really great guy. He wasn't a fit for us. Here's why. But man, the way he handled that, I kept thinking maybe we were wrong. And of course, he's gone on to succeed. Him keeping his mouth shut got him a multi-million-dollar position as CEO in a company. Don't let your current emotions and your current feelings of insecurity wreck your entire career. All right? That's what you do when you get fired. Here's today's simple tip. You do 3 things. 1, express appreciation for the job. 2, learn something. That's going to help you redeem that experience. And then 3, come up with a positive soundbite. Positive for them, and also, don't forget, positive for you. I learned a lot. There's no question they advanced my career. I can't wait to see what's next. That's about you. They were a great company. I really like working with those guys, or enjoyed, just find something positive to say. But those 3 things, that's your simple tip for today, and hopefully you never have to use them.